So now it's time for the kiddies to come forward and grab the baskets at the front under your feet on the other side. So if the kids can come forward now to do the little lambs offering. Now this little offering is kind of really for the cents and the leftovers in your wallets, and really this goes toward the education of kids that are struggling to pay for that. And then Auntie Zandri will give you a story. Yeah, Auntie Zandri got that covered.
Is everyone here? Okay, I'm being told, yeah, hurry, tell quickly. Okay, let's close eyes and let's thank Jesus for the offering. Close eyes. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for the offering that could come to the front this morning. You know there are children who needs it, and we ask that you will help it reach those children so they can go to school and learn more about life and also more about you. Thank you for always being there for us. We love you, Jesus. Amen. So this morning I thought I was going to tell you guys about something that I want to be thankful for, but it was only going to be like very short. And then Jesus thought, I've got a better plan for you. So he made lots of things happen this morning, and I'll tell you, we need to be at church at 8. So this is like a whole half an hour earlier. Now, if you're a woman and you've got hair, not that I have much of it, but the little bit that I have takes a long time to do. So I wasn't very happy, but anyway, we had to rush. Now, we had lots of things to quickly finish up here in the front. And of course, I don't know if you guys know, but your moms and dads definitely know that if you're in a hurry and if you're running late, everyone else has all the time in the world. They go for nice, slow drives, and we're trying to rush. And obviously on our road, on the Gorge Road, there's no way to overtake cars. So if you've got the slowpoke in front of you, you are stuck behind that slowpoke. Anyway, so eventually we conquered the traffic and we got here. And as we stopped, I said to Uncle Chris, you'll never believe this, but I left my music file at home. Actually, I said to him, where's my music file? He said, what music file? I said, I only have one music file. Where's my music file? He's like, well, I don't have it. Where is it? So I said, well, I don't know. I thought you brought it. Anyway, so we realized I left it. And this is now 8 o'clock. Then I realized I had to actually, it was 8:10. I rushed home. Now again, and you know what? I want to thank Jesus because he's taken over and he has made the service thus far, I think, pretty nice. And we are all calm and we are really enjoying ourselves. So from being all rushed and all panicked, we came here and we are all fine. No one's been in an accident, and we all still love each other. So I want to ask you guys, is there anything that you want to tell the church that you are thankful for today? Come on, you guys are normally so eager to use the mic. Now's your chance. Who wants to say thank you to Jesus for something? Minati.
Thankful.
Okay, I've got lots of shy faces. Anyone? I'm going to count to 3. Okay, come, Elijah. What do you want to say thank you to Jesus for?
For doing something where I need to do.
Excellent. Anyone else? Want to try again?
Thankful. Thank you for the Sabbath.
Amen. Anyone else? Last chance. Come, James.
For all the things that you did for us. That God did. For all He done for us after we sinned.
Excellent. One last try.
Thank for sky.
Thank you for the sky. Cool. Right, so there you have it. Let's close our eyes and let's thank Jesus for bringing us all together here. Dear Jesus, thank you so much that we could come to church this morning to praise you and to thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you for always being there for us and for loving us. We love you. Amen.
Okay, can you hear me? Good. So I was just unsure of the order of things there, but I've got it right. So, in fact, can I borrow the clicker there? Because I'm going to need this. Thank you. So, I wanted to share with you guys this morning something briefly that I've been thinking about. And today is a praise and worship service, and the topic today that we wanted to really cover, we call it a praise and worship service. And the first verse that popped into my mind was Psalm 100, verse 4. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. So that's the key text for today. And what this text tells me is a couple of things. Is that primarily when we enter into his gates or his courts, Is it to receive something or to give something? It's to give, isn't it? Now, it's true that when you come to church, that we expect to receive something, right? There's a Bible study or a sermon or something. But what I wanted to chat today about is really the order of how it should be. Because when we focus on getting something, we might miss what God wants to give us through our praise to Him. Does that make sense? So the first thing is, I wanted to touch on this topic around giving to God, and I think we can easily fall into the trap of coming to church and expecting to get maybe a good sermon or a good Bible study or something along those lines, and I think easy to miss primarily giving to God because we're too focused on what we can get. And so I wanted to just touch on that briefly, and I think what I wanted to really to break down is how can we fully take this verse in and really make it our own, entering into His gates with thanksgiving and into His courts with praise. Now, if we really want to own this verse for ourselves, I think there are three things that's going to get us there. Number one, remembering to remember. Number two, remember to be grateful. And number three, remember to be thankful. And I think that's very key. So the first one I want to touch on is remember to remember. And you'll see there that might be quite small writing, but this is really to bring to mind something from the past. Now, who would say that you've got a good memory? Some people have bad memories, like me. Who's got a good memory? Okay, I see some people over there with some really good memories. Okay, Matthew's got good memory. I remember Zandri telling me quite a while ago that she can remember from when she was 9 months old. Okay, and I've teased her ever since because she says to me she can remember that when she was 9 months old, she was sitting on a beach in Venice. And when she was about that, her parents, they all went on holiday and she was there. And then I was like, wow, that's really early. And then I was looking through some photo albums at her house, and guess what I found? A photo of her at 9 months old sitting on the beach in Venice. So I said, well, I don't know if you can remember that or if you just remember the photo. But anyway, I rip off about that all the time. You see, it's easy to... have you noticed this? That it's easy to remember the bad stuff. And it's not as easy to remember the good stuff. I'll give you an example. Who knows the story about what happened at that school in Richards Bay? With the art that was so dodgy and it was all over social media. You know that. Now, I'm willing to bet you that if someone talks about that over the next few years, your memory will immediately jog. Oh yes, that school there with that dodgy art. But it's so easy to forget about the dog that was rescued in your neighborhood. We'll remember about the World Cup because there's lots of hype about it now, right? But in 5 months' time, it'll be so far gone out of our memories because we'll be bombarded maybe with some other stuff, and our memories are of sometimes the bad stuff. Maybe it's because it's all over the news, or there's very little that you get, but it's difficult sometimes to remember the good stuff. So we're not the only ones who can sometimes struggle to remember the good over the bad. It reminds me of Israel. Remember when they first, crossed the Red Sea, they were rescued from slavery, and then it was how many days before they started complaining? It was like really short. And it was really, really short. They started to complain, and then it's almost like they forgot all the good stuff that God had done, that they went, and they were cleansed. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, returned, and with a loud voice glorified God, and fell down on his face at his feet, giving him thanks. And he was a Samaritan. So Jesus said to him, were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? Were there not any found who returned to give glory to God except this foreigner? And he said to him, arise, go your way. Your faith has made you well. Only one of the 10 lepers remembered the blessing. I think the steps that this leper must have followed, firstly, he had to remember the blessing. Then, in order for him to turn back and go and thank Jesus for what he had done, he had to have been grateful for the blessing. So he remembered, he was grateful, and then he thanked. Does that make sense? And so I'm going to take us through this process today, and we'll see how it goes. You see, the thing is key, and I think it's logical. But if you can't remember the blessings, you can't be thankful, right? You can only be thankful for something that you've remembered. So I want to go back to Psalms 100, verse 4. Enter into his gates with praise and his courts with thanksgiving. Or the other way around, thanksgiving and his courts with praise. But you can only enter into his courts with thanksgiving if you remember what he has done for you. Okay, does that make sense? So let's take this through. So if we don't remember, it's very difficult to be thankful about anything. So let's turn to Psalm 97, verse 11. There's a couple of verses that I wanted to share. The Bible tells us to remember. I will remember the works of the Lord. Surely I'll remember the wonders of old. Psalms 143, verse 5. I remember the days of old. I meditate on your works. I muse on the work of your hands. It's important to stop for a moment and remember the blessings. It's so easy to get caught up into life that we forget to remember what God has done for us. Here's another verse, Psalm 97, verse 12. Rejoice in the Lord, you righteous, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holy name. Friends, the first step to really owning Psalm 100, verse 4 is to remember. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily the generic stuff. And I think sometimes it's easier for us to thank God for the stuff that applies to us all, right? But this is the challenge. The challenge here is to remember the specifics of what God is doing in your life. Now, that's harder than what it seems. Because God is working